one important part of the work that we do is our relationship with churches. And a great deal of work in connection with that is done by Brian, who's been waiting very patiently for his part of the program. Brian, would you like to tell us about religion and global instability?
I was actually forgotten today, actually. The impression we have of business. I think I might be to get away with this, not have to give this talk. Well, I was reflecting on how to relate the issue of religion to global instability. I was aware of the very negative press of the Roman Catholic Church against the Roman Catholic Church at the present time. I'm also aware that Philip Pullman, who is a little babe of many believers, produced these books saying how terrible the church is, and produced a book. Presumably it's a work of fiction. He's a fiction writer called The Good Jesus and the Bad Christ. And having read the Gospels, Philip Pullman said that Alice got it all wrong. What really happened was that Mary had twins. Not just and the one twin was called Jesus. Jesus was a jolly good chap, went around healing people and preaching peace and saying people passionately all love each other. But Christ was one of the nasty people that came saying, I want to build a powerful church that's ready to dominate the press people, you see. And at this sort of point, and Paul apparently supported this nasty Christ character. Well, you know, they could make it what you wanted. Philip Pullman's obviously going to make a amount of money from this extraordinary book, which actually is a recycling of a very old historical controversy about what was the relationship between Paul and the historical Jesus. I'm not going into it except to say, extraordinarily, in this very secular Britain, where barely every fights in the church, even very, very past Scotland, where I come from, Richard Steele can grab the headlines, often for the wrong possible reasons. But if you look at the reasons of global instability, what are these? Well, great power rivalries are really not the reason anymore. I mean, there's no prospect now of a war between USA and Russia. And although one or two American ultra-right pundits say, maybe a war with China in years to come, that's actually highly unlikely. There are no deep ideological, political reasons for causing wars between major states, anyway. And although all states are constantly jockeying and shifting and engaging in diplomacy and negotiations that influence Britain, America and other countries, are not gone to war with each other for spheres of economic power, as was the case in the Second World War. The reason why America and Japan went to war in the 1940s was mainly because of the differences over trade policy. Now, it is the smaller states, or the middle-range powers, in the Iran-Iraq War, those sort of powers that go to war for local and regional reasons, or major powers like the USA would intervene to impose their will on smaller states. So I think the instability, I can see, results from a whole range of those kind of factors, and also one more subtle rivalries between powers. Also, the whole range of things that Vijay mentioned, and particularly the socio-political economic consequences of globalization, which I think is still not fully understood, but also the effect of the financial instability. One was also got to mention that there are certain trades outside the established and recognized trades which cause not only human misery, but great instability between peoples. One is the drug trade, one is the people trafficking trade, one is illegal migration, and one, of course, is the illegal arms trade, which constitutes some 10% of the total arms transfers in the world. Now, none of these factors is caused directly, only perhaps very, very tangentially, indirectly by religion, but nevertheless, religion is a factor. I think it's very important to grasp, and it's very to do this, I think, in so secular society as ours, that in most of the world, religion is globally resurgent. Most of the world think that Britain is a very, very odd place, not having packed churches or packed, the modest are packed, obviously, not having packed churches. And wonder why this is so, and why is it that people which adore Dawkins have such a public area? This is unusual in most parts of the world. Of course, it's a testament to our free society, but also a testament to kind of institutional religion. This is not true of most large swathes of the world. If you question that, read a book called God is Back, written by the editor of The Economist, which shows very, very clearly that most parts of the world, religion is on the rise and shows no sign of going down. It's a real great surprise to most people because in the 1980s people thought, well, even native ideology was passing, certainly wasn't going to be replaced by anything else. And apparently about 10% of people of China, the number of Christians and other believers in China, reaching 10% and accelerating to the degree where the Communist Party is getting quite anxious. And certainly in Russia, as I mentioned before in this forum, which is extremely important, taken very, very seriously by the Russian government, so much so that Putin himself devoted great personal time and energy to reuniting the Russian Orthodox Church in Russia with the exiled church of the Russian Orthodox diaspora, because he said the unity of Russian Christians is central to the stability of Russian society and state. So, if you think of South America, a great movement of Pentecostal churches, and I could repeat that, of course, other non-Christian traditions